We live?
We live.
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil.
I'm Alex. And we got today a special guest, all the way from North Carolina, the former BLA grad, the psychology PhD student, the Nigerian.
The Nigerian.
Strong, independent Nigerian woman that don't need no man.
No man.
Say what's up to the people, man.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
That's good. So I heard you got a little situation going on,
Who doesn't love a good situation shit, man?
about a man who's not really your man. What's good with that?
A man that's really not my man. I mean, it's more like we're in an awkward stage right now, so our relationship is going through some transition because there's a lot of things going on.
Of course.
Mainly it's more about like expectations. So
And what about expectations specifically?
Your expectations, his expectations?
okay, so let's take like a step back.
Go ahead, take it out.
This man is like the love of my life. So not gonna lie, I love him to death. We've been together, I'm gonna say, since my senior year of high school.
Ooh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful right there.
Like on and off though, so it's not been like consistent.
But what relationship is easy, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's true. But I think I'm at this stage in my life where I'm really just realizing what I want in a partner and realizing that he might not be meeting those expectations.
Are you just now realizing or just now asserting?
Good point. So it's more of been like, I've been with you for a long time. I see that you have these issues. Okay, let's work on it. And now I'm at this point where, all right, man, you about to be 30. I can't wait for you to work on it no more.
It's actually funny. I had an interesting conversation with my cousin yesterday. Mad late. Monday was talking mad late. Well, he had a situation with his girl wasn't his girl for like 3 years.
Okay.
Right? So his girl is not his girl for a minute. And with the expectations thing, it's like we shouldn't be going into relationships like thinking of people as like projects, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I think there's some things that we see as yellow flags that are actually really red flags, right? And we're like, oh, it's a yellow flag. We can work on this. We can get past this, right?
Love makes it a yellow flag. You get blinded by love.
Yes, you do. And so your red flags you become yellow flags. And it's like, oh, damn, when I look back at this shit, I should definitely stop fucking with her after this happened, right? And so you look back at this, so I think that might be
a lot of times. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people have that mentality, like you gotta fix people. And to a certain degree, it's fair because no one's gonna really be perfect. There's some things you gotta work on.
There's some things you can work on.
Some things, and for me personally, in a relationship,
ain't no projects though.
In a relationship, I want to be able to grow with my significant other.
Exactly.
And improve and become better people. So there's that.
So that your relationship can be better, and that's where like the issue really is now is him realizing that like I'm not trying to fix you. I want you to be a better person for yourself. So not be a better person for our relationship, but be a better person for you so that every aspect of your life is set and you're able to like do better in that regard too, not just do better for me. And for the longest time, so it's been feeling like, okay, I'm nagging and like he'll do it for a little bit just because that's what I wanted, and then it goes back to the same thing. And like I kind of got into that cycle of like forgiving it because it's like, okay, he does it and we go back to the cycle. I'm like, I can't leave this man. I love him. He'll get it right again. But now it's starting to be more of like, are these expectations too much for him, or is it more like because he doesn't want to do it for himself and see the value of it for himself, he's not willing to actually do it, if that makes sense.
But does that matter though?
Absolutely.
No, because if he's not doing it regardless, then does it really matter though?
It does matter. It does matter because at the end of the day, I'm not here trying to be in a relationship with someone just to fix them, right?
No, of course. But I'm saying it doesn't matter in the sense that even if he does or does not want those things for himself, he keeps going back to his old habits regardless. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't really matter what he wants if he's not doing.
So you say you look at his actions and not his words.
Yeah,
so he can say, like, maybe I'm going to change.
His actions show, or it's not even just like you as a person. Like anybody's like significant other, partner, whatever. You're like bugging them to do something, they do it, and they just go back to doing the shit that they were doing before. Mm-hmm. If they keep doing that over and over again, does it really matter what they say or think?
Well,
if they keep
exactly.
I mean, okay, hold on. All right, let me take a step back for you, and let me do some. Let me psychology you. Okay, so a lot of times you have to think about.
I'm gonna get that weather and diagnosing.
I'm not diagnosing, but sometimes like I'm starting to realize that you have to look at what's going on with that individual, like in the background, before you can make that assumption that they're not doing it because they don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And then you start thinking, is it a skill deficit?
Is it how he was raised?
Is it how he is raised? Is it a logic behind it? Is his inability to understand? Or is it more of like his ego and just that inability to be submissive to another person? And that comes with a lot of like territory, right?
I get that. But at the same like if there's a pattern and maybe there's a reason behind it, but you can't break it down regardless.
So do you think
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is not like something that I realized like at the beginning of a relationship. This is more of like also me learning who I am and as a person and realizing that I need to set like expectations.
Of course.
And
so you should be setting expectations in a relationship.
I mean, you have to.
I mean,
like, you can't just be like, okay,
expectations can be a dangerous thing.
No, absolutely. But they also
it's your life.
It's your life, and it also kind of holds someone accountable.
Yeah.
If you're not setting expectations, I mean, why do we have grades in school? Why do you have evaluations at work? Like, they have expectations. You have to be able to evaluate someone on
fair.
something.
That's fair.
And in a relationship, what you're technically evaluating to see if this person is who you want them to be is, are they meeting those expectations that you're setting for them? But then the issue becomes, are the expectations you're setting for them realistic?
The only hesitation, you can have some unrealistic expectations, but at the same time, it's your life though, right? So if you want, like, say you want like someone to call you every day, right? Like that would be okay. There's gonna be times where I obviously can't call you every single day, and I'll be like, okay, that might be unrealistic, but you can easily maneuver that though. But if you want that thing every single day, and you know you can't function with that every day, then y'all just can't be compatible. Like if I'm not gonna move heaven and earth to talk to you every single day, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that's something you really want. So I'm like, all right, we just can't work.
Which is what my point was going to be about expectations, because it's like, sure, you can have them, but to try to hold people and mold them to fit your expectations is a dangerous thing, because if they don't meet your expectations off the bat or after a certain period of time, you're free to let them go and find someone who would. You know what I'm saying? So expectations shouldn't have to hold us down like it normally does.
They shouldn't be set in stone either.
So now this is where I'm at is, some of these expectations aren't just expectations for your partner and to be better in your relationship, but they're like common human being expectations that I feel like every person should be held accountable for. Because it's not just like, if you can't do this with me, that's fine, but it's just that inability to do it with everyone that becomes problematic. So like, let me talk about my relationship. The main reason that like our relationship is not the best right now is communication is an issue. But
very common,
but not just communication with me, but just him in general. He lacks those skills. So it's now affecting his relationship with his family, his relationship with his friends, his relationship in the workplace, right? So it's not just like you not talking to me when I want to talk about my feelings. That's the only issue, but it's like you're unable to communicate with your family, so now you're looking like an asshole to your family member. You're not checking in on your family members. You're not reaching out to your friends, and now you don't really have friends like that. Mm-hmm. So now all you're doing is being dependent on me as your source of everything, because you've kind of severed that relationship with other people. So it's like, I'm not trying to get you to fix yourself for only me.
Right.
But also at the same time, though, as you get older, and it's something we've talked about plenty of times, and my friends, like, everybody knows, as you get older, there's, I don't want to call it the expectation, but there's somewhat of an expectation that, like, oh, your wife becomes your best friend, right?
Yeah, she shouldn't become your everything.
No, he is my best friend, but, like,
And I know you don't want that person to go to you with everything, but then, like, think about as you get older, people get busier, all this type of stuff.
No,
so
absolutely.
You see everyone else just a bunch less, and it's just, like, almost like a complacency type thing with everybody else, where it's just, like, I'll let these...
Yeah,
like
what I'm saying is I don't even get to feel like I'm his best friend. That's the issue. So it's not reciprocated.
Okay.
Like, for me, he is my best friend. He's the person that I turn to because I know that at this point in age, this is the person who I confide in the most. But it's not reciprocated. And it's not just with me, it's with everybody. So that communication is not consistent within every aspect of his life, especially me, which is what hurts. It's like, okay, if you can't talk to your mom, you can't talk to your sisters, at least be able to talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, I give him this example of, like, sometimes people will tell, like, my dad to do something and, like, he won't listen. But if my mother tells him to do it, he will stop and drop everything he's doing to do that. Right? And I've been with this person for how many years now? And I can't even get him to listen to me. And, like, his mom will tell me, talk to your boyfriend, talk to your man, maybe he'll listen to you. And I'm sitting in the back of my head like, yo, this nigga don't even listen to me. Like, yo, don't even tell me to talk to you. Like, I'm sorry, he's not gonna listen to me either. And you know, that starts to looks funny, where it just feels like this person can't even be submissive to you. And they claim they love you to death and you're their everything. But, like, I can't tell you to do something without you feeling like you make the decision.
So now I have two questions. So the first one being, do you feel like them not meeting your expectations is a reflection of their love for you? Do you feel like if he keeps snapping back to his previous self and he's not really making that change for you when he knows what your expectations of him are, and he's not doing that, do you think that that's a reflection of, you know, maybe he doesn't really love me like that? Or is it just like maybe he just really can't do it because, like you said, of how he was raised?
I think it's
the other thing.
It's more of like, what is his definition of love? So depending on what he thinks love is, that will kind of yield what he's doing for me. If he doesn't think love requires expectations and he says he loves me.
Yes, because there's all the different love languages, right?
You know
there's
what I mean?
Givers, there's the complimenters, there's the people
Alex
love
like,
in different ways.
I don't want to hear about no love language.
People love in different ways.
No, seriously, but love is a very complicated thing.
Of course, and that has to go. That directly relates to your expectations. Because if I'm a giver, if I'm a giver of gifts, and I give my girl all these gifts, and I expect to be loved in the same way, but she's more of a complimenter. And I'm like, you don't love me. You don't even give me anything. It's like, but I tell you, you're beautiful all the time.
Exactly.
I don't want that. I want a cookie, but you're giving me brownies.
Right.
It's both delicious, but it's not what I want. And that directly relates to expectations.
It does. And they also, y'all not meant to be together, which is fine.
No,
it can still work.
No.
If y'all
want
different things,
no.
And y'all can't
but if you know the love language or the expectations,
relationships about compromising, Alex.
You
just said
you're not compatible.
What? Yes, and that's okay.
Just because I don't want cookies.
No,
because my girl is wonderful, but she just happens to be a giver when I'm a complimenter.
Exactly, that does not. No,
it's obviously a broader issue though. I'm pretty sure it's not just going out to just cookies and freaking brownies.
That's a metaphor.
Oh,
there'll be a lot more things. If you're with somebody that cannot meet your expectations, it's just fine.
No, but they can. They're choosing not to.
Not to. That's what we're talking about.
Or they're incapable.
No, they're capable of it.
If
I'm a giver, I am more than capable of giving you a compliment if I know that that's how you feel loved.
All right. Well, that's a very easy and mundane example, sir.
That's the one that works.
We'll go back to our friend Helen, example, where the person is literally incapable of doing, or shown that he's capable of it in short bursts of time.
Is he putting in effort?
I was just about to say that. So that's where it's like right now.
You can put effort, but you just can't sustain.
Effort matters, though.
Effort matters,
and if you can't sustain it, then it does not matter.
No, it does, because you have to understand why you can't sustain it. There can't be a solution to a problem unless you understand why the problem is happening.
You can say
so that's no, Alex, no. There cannot be a solution to a problem unless you understand why the problem is happening, or else it will keep happening. And so that's where we are in our relationship right now. It's just like, yo, you don't know what's going on with you and why you're incapable of doing this. Okay, so let's take a step back and figure it out.
How do you figure it out?
No, that's what we're working on.
And
I'm realizing that it's something we can't figure out together, because it starts feeling like I'm just pressuring him to do what I want.
That's the point I'm making. Even if you can't figure it out, the point is, it doesn't matter. Like, if I expect you to do this, and this for me, and you can't, and now we're trying to figure it out, and you still can't. Why am I gonna?
This goes into my second question. I was gonna ask, which is, what do you feel like you handled your lack of your expectations being met in the proper way? Because there is a right. I feel like there is a right and a wrong way to handle that. And no matter what he's going through, whatever his deficiencies are, if he's making an effort, he's inevitably going to improve.
Exactly.
No. If
yes.
he's making effort, he's inevitably going to improve.
If he keeps making consistent effort
on a lot of things and not improve, bro.
When it comes to things like communication, when it comes to things like trying to meet your partner's expectations, when they're there helping you and guiding you through it, what kind of mindset is that?
What do you mean what kind of mindset is it? If you're not capable of doing something,
you cannot become capable?
You can make all, bro, you cannot just turn off a magic switch by, I'm going to try my hardest.
It's not a magic switch. No, effort is hard. Yeah, it takes time.
That's not the point I'm making, bro. I can try the hardest to be great at swimming or golf. I can try my absolute hardest, and I can still suck.
You can still suck, but you will be a better swimmer than you were when you started. That's what Khelil said. I'm not asking for perfection.
I'm not
Let's
saying
not get it twisted.
It won't be good enough to meet my expectations.
No, but here's the thing. Let me go back to this. Compromise.
I'm with you on.
I'm not expecting him to be like, talk to me day and night, sit with me, and let's paint our nails and talk about our feelings 24/7. Of course not. I'm just saying, at the bare minimum, let me feel like my voice is being heard.
Yes, and if they've consistently shown you through their efforts, even though they're trying, that they cannot make you feel that way.
I didn't say that. I literally just said the person is capable of. They've showed that they're capable of it, but they're choosing not to carry it out consistently.
That's the point. The consistency is very key.
But the reason why there's no consistency is what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm saying. You cannot solve a problem without finding out why the problem is occurring.
And how long are you gonna let this problem occur?
To each their own, yo. And it's like
maybe
it's all about love.
Maybe I just have a much shorter leash.
It's all about love. You probably do. And I feel like, honestly, no offense, that's the issue with men. No, absolutely. I feel like men have shorter fuse and than women. I honestly do. I'm just saying, let me take a step back.
What?
Because I feel like we're focusing. Man. No. Listen. I
don't want to psychoanalyze my person because they can't meet my expectations over a consistent number of months or years, and I'm saying I'm out. I got a short leash, I guess.
I want her to explain herself.
No. Let me explain myself. Okay, so we're talking about how I have expectations of him.
Of course.
He has expectations of me too, right?
Naturally.
And there's expectations that I'm incapable of meeting. That has led to like him like basically saying I'm done, kind of like fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the tables are turning. I'm here putting in my effort to still wait and give that person time to figure it out because I feel like I'm more understanding than he is of me, and I've seen that so many times with men, and how it's like if she can't get it right after this point, I'm out. Not. If she can't get it right, let's make it work a little bit longer.
I
think like we're all in bubbles because that's what I see from the other side. I see like women.
I've never
I've literally seen women say, "If he can't pay for my friend, we can't be fucking with each other."
Yes.
What kind of?
You see, this is a short leash and a hard line. This is a short leash and a hard line. I'm not saying any hard lines here. I just saying I have a short leash where I'm like, if I have something that I know I want to have, and you can't. Do that.
Like how many strikes do they get? Like 2, 3 in your
eyes? It's not even a strike thing. It's just if you can't show me that you're
that's what a short leash is. If they violate it like 1 or 2 times, and a short leash is like, all right, that's enough.
Right.
But if you have a longer leash, okay, you can cross this boundary. You can not meet my expectations this amount of times, and I'll be okay with it. And I'm still trying to work with you. If you have a longer leash, then that's what you can allow.
I will try to work with you.
But for how long? How much? How many times can they make mistakes?
I mean, it's gonna vary, right?
It depends on what it is too.
And also, it depends on how much you love this person, though, and if they're really trying.
That's why I'm saying effort matters, because if this person is saying, if
I'm not saying communication effort doesn't matter, and like you're mistaking my effort and your effort. I really think like
effort is effort. No, if the person's trying, then they deserve to be getting chances.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but I can give someone as many chances. They keep disappointing me.
But if their criteria, if his criteria is not being met for their effort, then yeah.
Yeah, so I'm out. Like you could try your hardest.
But if it's not Alex's hardest.
No, it's not even my hardest. It's just like you've shown that you can do this thing, or you can't. You have not shown you can do this thing consistently.
Can you give me an example? Like if my girl loves flowers and she's like, "Can you please, get me flowers more consistently?" And like a year goes by and I didn't get it. It's like, all right. Then the next year I get it. But then like 4 more years go by, I don't get it.
That's
right?
it?
And it's like,
I don't like that example.
No, I'm just
okay,
give me an example then.
I like that example about the communication thing, right? You're not able to communicate in the ways that I need you to.
But what would effort in that situation look like?
Of him consistently trying to communicate with me, and this person is not.
What is the trying? What does the try look like?
Yeah, what is the criteria for trying?
It can depend.
Which is true. It is. It depends.
It's not really my.
But I feel like right now
you
guys are making it seem like this is so like black and white, whereas there's like other aspects of why you would not want to walk away. Right? Of
course there are other aspects.
No, but you're saying you got short leash, so it's like if you can't meet my expectations consistently, I'm out. But then you're not thinking about how much you love this person, how long you've been with this person, what future you see with this individual. What about all the good aspects? So like for me right now, it's like this person. It's like a pros and cons list, right?
Yeah.
So this person has all these pros, but some of these cons.
Mm-hmm.
Are these cons now worth me throwing this? How many years? Well, not 8 years. Away?
The time shouldn't matter how long you were together though. It's like as ridiculous as that might sound. Like
you done lost your mind, nigga. What?
No, you should not let time be the.
I'm sorry if I didn't say biggest. I didn't say biggest. But a huge factor. My biological clock is ticking. 1,
That's
2.
A huge
I'm not about to turn around and be single with the man I've been with for 8 years. Unless no.
Unless no, if I'm not happy, and
no, of course, no happiness. But don't say to you can't dismiss time. If I've given all this effort,
if
and all
you've
this
invested
time,
so much into something, and you're gonna throw it away just as easily as something you've not invested in at all,
hell
investments fail, bro.
And would you give up on something that you invested in
just because
$4 million versus something you invested nothing in? Those are the same in your eyes. You would easily give up on both of those things the exact same.
When did I say you don't try? When did I say that?
No, you just told us to not use time doesn't matter.
I'm saying time does matter in the sense where, we've been together for this long, so we can't break up. Or we've been together for this long.
No, not that you can't break up, but you get more chances.
We've been together for this long.
It's hard for us to break up.
We've been together for this long, so I'm gonna deal with all this shit, even though what I need to happen is not happening.
No, we've been together for this long, so I'm gonna give you another chance.
That's what we're saying. Because you can't throw away. You just don't throw that away.
The time shouldn't even be like a top 2 factor. It should be like how much you love this person, how much you want to work out with them. It shouldn't be how much time you should not be in a relationship. Like,
we didn't say it was top 2. We just said it was important.
Time spills into both of those statements you just said.
Sure.
No. Time spills into both of those things though.
What?
How much you love them.
How much you love them.
And how much you want to be with them.
And how much you want to be with them.
I've never been in a relationship where it's like I've been with this person for 2 years and that's gonna dictate how much I want to be with them. And I don't think anyone should be in that type of mentality.
No, but that yields your relationship with them.
It's not a decision. It's just how you feel.
It's like the way I felt about you in year 1 is gonna be very different from year 3. The love
and
not by
choice.
Not by choice. That's just by default.
Okay, but I shouldn't let the way I felt about you in year 1 versus year 3 or versus year 5 should be like, how do I feel about you right now? That should be.
But that was based on those years.
Are we not? Am I missing something?
I get what you're saying, but it's weird hearing that from a guy.
What's so weird? Now, I'm not. I've been with my girl for 5 years. Right? I might as well just marry her. Like,
that's not what I'm saying.
I know that, but I don't.
But if I know that this thing used to be this wonderful, immaculate, perfect Hollywood Disney kind of love story, and now we're down this path where we hit hard times.
Every relationship's gonna hit hard times.
Now I know what we can be, and of course it's gonna matter to me. Of course I'm gonna think
how
about
long
that.
Exactly, and how long you guys have been together.
I know
and what
you've
gone through. No, but with time, because
those are two different.
No,
things.
hold on. But with time comes experience.
Of course, but look at what he said. I know what our potential is, and then you're talking about the time. Know what your potential is and know what you can be is from how long I've been together with this person. Do you not?
But the way you're gonna know what your potential is gonna be based on how long you've had those experiences.
And you mentioned that how you feel in year 1 and year 2 doesn't matter to how you feel in year 4. But I'm saying it does.
It does, absolutely it does.
If I feel in year 4 you have not fulfilled my needs over a consistent period of time, right? If we're in year 4 and all 11 out of 12 months of year 4. I am not happy. I have not fulfilled my needs. I'm not gonna look back at year 1.
But the first 24 months of year 1 and 2 don't matter.
Not really, because you're not doing what I need you to do anymore.
So the first 24 months gave you those 11 months.
And you have to also think that my expectations may evolve over time as well.
They should.
Naturally.
Yes, and
you
if
grow
you're
as a
not
person.
meeting my expectations anymore, I don't care if you met my expectations in year 1. I don't care if you met my expectations in year 2, because you cannot do that to me.
And that's
fair. That's basically him, but saying time matters then. What you just said basically explain that time matters.
The sense I'm talking where time doesn't matter is I'm not basing my relationship off year 1 or year 2. I'm basing my relationship off how I feel.
How you feel now matters more.
This person.
I agree.
Right.
I'm not saying time is absolute obsolete.
No, that's not what we're saying either. But we're saying time is something that you should definitely be taking into consideration.
Yeah, you sounded like you were just disregarding it.
Disregarding. The way it came off is like, it don't matter how long you've been this person.
You can say that how you feel now matters more, and I agree with that.
I'm not absolutely disregarding it, but I'm just saying I can't be like, it's actually really funny. Vanessa Hudgens and her man broke up, right? They were together for 9 years. And I see people talking about, damn, like, imagine if you was with someone for 9 years and didn't work out. Imagine if you wasted your whole 30s. I people I know say it's like, oh, damn, I was a chick all summer and we didn't work out. I could have been fucking so many bitches. I'm like, what the hell does that matter, though? Right? Well, like, no, for real. What does that matter? Did you enjoy that 9 years? Like, did you have a good time during that 9 years?
No, but
if some things did not work out, that's okay.
That's like saying we started this podcast for 5 years and it didn't work out.
Damn.
What does that matter? Of course I'm gonna be hurt.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
That's
of course I'm like, damn, that sucks.
You can't
you
be
invested.
Hurt, but you can't.
No, not can. You will.
You will be hurt.
And that's what they're saying.
That's what we're
imagine
saying.
that happened.
Imagine that happened.
That sucks.
It sucks. But that's life. Am I happier now that I moved on from this situation? That should be the biggest factor for me. Not how much time I spent, how much money I invested.
No, agreed. Absolutely.
No one's
disputing that. But we're also saying you need to also be considering time.
I'm not looking at something that did not work out as a waste of time. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not looking at like my last relationship. It's like, okay, this is what I wanted, and things did not work out. It's unfortunate.
It's not a waste of time, but it's still tragic.
It's still tragic. It still hurts. It's still unfortunate.
I'm saying in those examples, people call it like a waste of time.
Oh, no, that I don't know.
No.
I'm saying.
That I don't know.
Like I said, imagine wasting this much time. Like I wasted my whole 20s, or I wasted my whole summer. If I could be, that's why. Like,
oh yeah, well that's fair. That's fair.
That's where I'm arguing.
And so, how if someone's not meeting your expectations now, what would be the right way to try to guide them? Besides, I mean, is it just saying this is what I want? Can you do this for me? Is that it? Is that all it takes?
That's how you probably got some.
Yeah.
That thing you were just talking about, the wonderful communication thing, right?
Yeah.
That wonderful communication thing. You sit down, you have a talk to him. But I want this for our relationship, but this current thing is not happening.
And of course, you don't expect them to change right away.
Right.
Right. So like.
No, but I'll expect to see some effort out of it. It's like if I need this done, right? If I want this is making me sad about our current relationship.
And the first thing you should do is decide if you still want to be with this person. Before you even decide to sit down and talk to them.
I'm gonna assume it's not that big. I'm gonna assume it's a yellow flag, right? It's not a red. It's a red flag if it's not consistently met. But I'm not gonna assume it's like.
So she decided on the dude's life. She didn't fuck him.
If I was already at the decision, I wouldn't even I'll just be breaking up with you. Right? There's no point in me sitting down and talking to you about this. I'll just break up with you because I don't care. But I clearly care about this person, so I'm gonna sit down. This is what I need to have met. This is what needs to happen, and this is what I want to see. I want to see progress reports. I'm not gonna not actual progress reports. No. I want to see
on my desk by 9 p.m.
I want to see actual progress over the things I'm complaining about or the things I'm talking to you about. Not complaining.
Progress or effort.
Because
you can make.
I want to see.
You can make effort without seeing progress.
And that's why I'm telling you, I would leave.
Because if there's effort with no progress.
But then that's my
It depends on how difficult that
I'm
thing
not saying
is.
I'm not telling you to leave your situation.
No. Hell no. I'm not listening even if you told me. But I'm saying, that goes back to
Nobody.
Nobody's
down.
Ouch. But that goes back to understanding why the individual can't meet those expectations, right? Because if you keep barking at someone, telling them not meeting your expectations, but you're not necessarily taking the time to understand what their skill set is and what they're capable of, that's going to become problematic. Because are we always setting realistic expectations for our partners? Probably not. And also, what are our expectations for ourselves, right? And how does that spill into your expectations of your partner?
Definitely spills
You're
into
talking about realistic expectations for your partner. If I have a realistic expectation of how I want my relationship to be,
what you believe is realistic.
Well, exactly.
Yes, and they're not meeting that. It is they can't meet it because it's not a realistic expectation of them. Then it's too bad, buddy.
No, but
you want me to say.
Alex, you gotta take time to understand. This is.
What if this is just?
If it's just one,
for example,
it depends how big a thing it is.
Let's use communication again. Okay,
a big thing.
So if he's incapable of communicating with me, but I'm not understanding why, and I'm just saying you can't communicate with me. Okay, I'm out. That's not fair to that individual because we have not really taken the time to look at what is causing this deficit.
And it's something that could have been worked out, and now you're just leaving this investment.
And also, it could have been.
Are you not doing that in the initial communication of like your communication needs to be better? Are you not doing that?
When it comes to communication, you expect you to say that, then be like, all right, so here's why my communication is great.
No, you don't. Obviously, that's going to be part of the progress you want to see. It's going to be part of the effort I want to see, right?
But you can't expect them to dig into why that issue is there when you just initially bring it up.
And just tell them they got to do it without understanding like why they can't do it.
I can tell you got to talk to me every single day, but I don't say I have abandonment issues.
Exactly.
That's fair. That's 100%.
You have to dig into it.
You have to dig into it.
And if you find out that I have abandonment issues, you come say, what the fuck? Be gone then.
I might.
Ooh, boy.
Well, I guess it depends on you.
Fair.
That depends on you.
It's
But
completely fair. If you have some issues that I can't get over or I don't want to work through with you, then I might hit the road. I'm like,
and that's fair.
And that's
get it how you like it.
No,
but for a lot of people.
So, but hold on. But what does that say about you as a person?
What do you mean? If you're dealing with someone with anxiety, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't overcome that anxiety when you thought you could, and you figure out all the reasons behind their anxiety and all that. It's like, oh, this is not gonna work. Bye. Am I a bad person for that?
But have you made an effort to support that person, or are you just saying, you told me this, I'm not about it. Bye.
There are certain things where I feel like that might be.
Give me an example. What would make you say, peace, bitch, I'm good?
I cheat every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely be one. Not to see, like, a mean guy.
I'm listening.
I don't want to say that.
No, you're going to say it now. No, you got to say it.
You know, if my girl had, like, a beyond promiscuous past.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm not talking about, like a number of bodies. I'm talking about, like, doing, like, extreme...
Trains.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, like yeah. I'm not
if you found out that someone ran a train on your girl.
I'm not looking at you the same. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at you the same.
Oh, boy.
Is that not fair?
No, I don't think it's fair.
That's not fair?
Because it's like, hey... I'm gonna judge you on your past.
No, it's not that.
And the shit you did.
That's tough.
That's
yo, you men are hypocrites.
How? No, it's not. That's a big
I'm saying
thing.
that as a man who never participated in a train for a gangbang.
Let's talk about but why? Okay, but then you have to think about this. Goes back to what are your expectations of yourself and how is that spilling into your partner? Why is your girl telling you she was ran?
You can't even say it with a straight face.
She was ran on. Such a big deal to you. Does it have to do with your ego? Does it have to do with you worrying about your image of people? Or is it just more of like, damn, all the dicks have been in her? Like, what are you thinking of? This is why I cannot post this on my Facebook.
You're all valid questions. And I feel like for
life.
Okay, so let's...
For men or for people in general, something tends to be more valuable if less people have had it.
It's not even... No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Khelil, I am not going there.
Hold on.
And I can explain this more.
Khelil, no.
And I can explain this...
Can we go into the other thing? Where it's just like... I am not going to look at you the same.
And And
I'm asking, why? Why?
I don't want to associate with those type of people. And you're saying why? That's just not my type.
She's wonderful, but in college she was kind of
so she was freaky. No, she was sexually liberal. Society has painted this image to have us think that being ran on is demeaning based on society's morals. Alex, your morals are shaped by society and your upbringing and whatever. But you still have not answered my question. Why would you look at her differently?
I would not be able to look.
Why? You're just repeating the same thing. Why?
Obviously, like mental images and all that. That would just be like, nah. I
and so, okay, and you're still not answering. Where I was
going.
So, okay, why does seeing mental images? What does that do for you? Why? How does that make you feel?
That's a very visceral image, and you don't want to see the person that you're in love with, in that position. And when she said, I have a boyfriend, that's understood that you guys have had sex, sure, but that's not visceral. That's not like implanted in your mind.
Which, sorry, I'm going to call you guys out. That means you never truly loved her. That means your love for her is conditional.
No,
don't say no.
Love is not unconditional.
Yeah, like, that is crazy.
Love is not, unless it's like a parent-child or something.
No, I disagree. Well, you're supposed to be, the whole point.
Conditional.
No, love is supposed to be unconditional. The goal is you're working,
in Cinderella.
Biblically, biblically, Don't go there. Biblically, and if you have a foundation that is a biblical foundation, your love should be, your effort should be going into unconditional
love.
I
will tell you that idea, it was shaped by society for you.
No. Oh, Lord. Don't even start, Khelil. Don't start.
Think about it. Think about attraction in general.
We're not talking about attraction. No. Attraction and love are two different things. They're different,
but they're intertwined. When it comes to romantic love.
Okay.
When it comes to romantic love.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to parent-child love, that can be unconditional. We're talking about romantic interest right now, right?
Parent can love an ugly baby, okay?
I will love my ugly baby. But let's start with attraction.
Even a parent-child love.
You cannot want nothing to do with your child, but you still want the best for them. You can still want them to succeed and get better.
Is one the best for them really love, though?
That's probably different.
Okay, whatever.
Go on, Khelil.
So, let's start with attraction. We all know attraction is not a choice.
Okay.
Do we?
Attraction is not a choice. You don't decide who you like.
No.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Because if that was the case, then nobody would have broken hearts. Why don't you like me? Oh, I like you now. That'd be great. There'll be no broken hearts.
I was gonna make it LGBT.
Right? So if we go from that, the reason that you're with this person is because of how they are. And if this person ever changes, if this is no longer the person that you fell in love with, your love is inevitably gonna fade.
Hold on though, but Alex's example was not. That's not fair though. This is not who she is. That's who she was before you even knew who she was. So now you're basically saying someone's past can shape how you feel about them. Well, that's different. Present.
I was just talking about unconditional.
No. But Khelil, you also agreed too.
But I wasn't relating to that point.
But that relays on that statement of the reason why you're not gonna love her, want to be with her anymore, is because you found out she got a train ran on. And Khelil, you feel the same way too.
You're not even in love with her at this point.
Because you're not in love with her because you find out she got ran on.
I'm assuming that this is something that we're in a talking phase.
I view this person differently. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. You can talk about the whys or whatever.
Hold on. I think we're thinking about different scenarios. Because I'm thinking, this is someone I'm talking to. Oh, by the way.
No. We're talking about expectations.
If it's someone that I'm married.
Someone you're dating and then you find out.
It's different. I feel like the situation is different.
But Alex said he's done. He's like, he found
out. We've been married for 10 years. And then I found out that in college you got a train run on you.
Maybe it's 10, 15 years. I'm telling you, bro. If some new information comes to my light, and I'm
like 2 months in.
And I'm like, if I can't view it the same, I can't view it the same. Oh, you can talk about the whys all the time. Person like, I don't view it the same no more.
Does the length of time between the train and your talking matter?
Because Alex don't care about time.
Does the train's departure time
matter? Time does not matter, Khelil. Not to Alex. How he felt about her now is what matters.
That actually kind of contradicts your earlier point.
Yeah.
Because what happened, how you felt, like what happened a year ago doesn't really matter.
No, I didn't say what happened to you. I said the way I feel about you. Not what happened.
Well, now it does matter. The way you feel
how you felt last year was really good because you didn't know about this.
Yeah, now it's different.
No. Those are two different things. What happened 2 years ago versus how I felt about you 2 years ago. How I feel about you now is completely different.
Actually, no. I have a question for you. So do you have an issue with this just because it's sex related? Like, what if you found out, like, all right, we're talking, you had a train on you, I love you. What if you found out, like, okay, I used to like murder people. I was in a gang. I did a couple drive-bys and I got
caught. It's all based on morals.
So,
and you were just against morals when it was shaped by society, but isn't my
no? That's shaped by society. No, that's
what if I'm like, them dudes had to get clapped and you did what you had to do? Like,
I mean.
Is it not fair for me to want to leave someone who actually participated in murder?
Well, it depends. Do you feel safe with that person? No. It's about safety. Okay, it's about safety.
But they love me.
You got ran on. That doesn't interfere with your well-being. Like that's that person. They're not.
Did you get tested? Like my health matters now.
I mean, I would assume y'all get tested.
Hey, listen. Right?
And also, hold on, stop.
What?
Getting ran on or having sex with one person does not change whether or not getting tested. Like that, those are.
I'm not arguing the health thing.
No.
I'm just thinking if you're getting trains ran on you and all these.
He's about the same thing.
If it's random people,
Don't show this podcast to your kids. All right?
Clearly.
Two different things, right? Is that not fair to say? Those are
which things?
The
murder and the ran on, and the murder on the train.
The testing.
Yeah, that's not.
The testing is complete, like the health
Sure.
thing.
No, that's not. That should not be the reason why.
I'm not gonna be like, oh damn, yeah, the train ran on you 15 years ago.
That means you have to. Now I gotta go test it. Like I got something.
Like I said, I was thinking about it when you're just now talking to this person. Difference. Whatever.
If I'm just talking to you.
Well, that's different. We're talking about when you're in a relationship and you have expectations that aren't being met. You just talking to someone, you shouldn't be looking for expectations. You can have it, but they're not going to be met yet because you guys are just now talking.
No, if they're being met, then things are going great.
But
that's
we're talking about
things going great mean.
You've been in a relationship with someone, and your expectations consistently have not been met. Okay. Then how do you sit that person down and address it?
So now, if this is something that's been going on from the start, I feel like that matters, right? Because if this is something that developed, after a while.
The train?
No. Like if.
I'm just saying that's not.
No, that's not something consistent. That's just something that happened.
Exactly, but that's an expectation. Oh Lord.
You seriously?
But that's an expectation he had that was not met.
But I thought we were talking about your expectation not being met.
I asked him to give an example though. But I asked for an example.
No, that's a fair question though. That's the expectation that you.
What was the expectation that she did not get ran on?
Yeah.
Which is one that you felt at the time you never have to communicate with.
They didn't tell you, and now you find out.
And that's not like something you just
tell someone, right? You know.
And it's not something you just ask someone either. You're not
gonna assume that, right? Hopefully, hey, nice to meet you. Have you ever got a train ran on?
My expectation is you're not that type of person.
Exactly.
And now when I find that out, I'm gonna look at you differently.
And that's not an expectation you could fix. You can't work. You can't untrain yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't even be like that. You can't be hard on me like that where it's like, oh, we're married now and you find yourselves. Like, that's something where I view you differently. And we can call it expectation it's like an implied expectation, right?
Yes, because you never really say it.
You never say it, but it's just something that goes unsaid that you would assume is not happening.
Right.
Yeah, just like you don't assume someone's a murderer,
Exactly.
Yes, but if you find that out,
you got some problems.
So, you just attacked me like 5 minutes ago.
Did you commit the murder? Who did you kill?
All right.
If you given your life to Christ,
Helen moved from Boston
right
now.
Tripping, man. I don't want to be judged.
Damn, bro. You moved and started cripping.
No, but that's like
that's different. I feel like this that's a different scenario.
But is that not fit? Like that's. Like, you were just attacking me for saying, I was viewing.
No, that's fair. But okay, let me give you another scenario. This is like going on a lot in our society. Let's talk about like consent, for example, right? So like a guy that like rape, right?
Of course.
And so finding out about that, but then you're maybe in a relationship with someone who you later on found out that they didn't have consensual sex with someone. Are you leaving them? So consent is different. Like rape is very situational in how you define it. Oh, yeah. Different things can equate to rape.
Makes it so hard to
so then are you, if you, for example, find like your partner gets raped, right? But you're also like a person who in your past might have had unconsensual sex with someone. Mm-hmm. So if your partner finds that out about you, should they leave you?
Oh, wow.
I think if they do, it's valid. I think
No. That's not my question. I didn't say should they leave you?
It's up to them.
I'm not saying.
But that's an expectation. That's an expectation
that's hard for me to get my head around because I'm like it's so specific, and like that's you being a victim of a crime, and then that person you're with is
being a
perpetrator of that crime.
But the crime is not.
It's not
that
that
crime. It's not the
you.
same. It's no. Not just that. The crime is like, it looks different. Rape is a very like victim specific.
So you know what I mean? So the way your partner did it was different from how it was done to you?
Yes. So like versus, fucking someone when they're drunk versus like actually
holding someone down
against their will. So should you now, because you find out that person had unconsensual drunk sex with someone, say you can't be with that person anymore because that expectation is not being met?
Should you? I feel like it's valid to question it, but I wouldn't say you should.
That you should leave?
That you should, because the drunk thing,
especially something like rape though.
Yeah,
that's a really big thing.
Because with the drunk thing we talked about with cheating as well. Like
now another question.
When people are drunk, shit gets blurry. But if someone's really if you find out that they held someone down against their will, their right mind, then yes, you should leave that person.
But should that person...
But how is that person even having that conversation with this person, like the rape victim? Like, is she gonna go up and ask?
Okay,
she told her partner that I was raped, and he's like, "Oh man, I got something to tell you."
No. No, I disagree. Let me explain this to you. Really happen. So it's more like, okay, like y'all are talking way before then, and you're like, have you ever like, like I fucked a girl that was drunk before, and like to you at that moment.
Okay.
You didn't read into it. You didn't read into it because, I mean, you might have that might have happened to you too. Like you've had sex with a guy when you were under the influence, but you wanted that person, you liked that person. To you, it was consensual, but legally, it wasn't consensual, right? So you're not reading into it at that moment. But then something tragic like that happens to you, where you were forced and you were having sex with some,
and I just look at the whole thing different.
Now you look at the whole thing different now. So now, should you tell your...
Should you...
Sorry, should you... Because now that expectation is different, and now you're looking at your partner differently, should you leave that person?
Yeah, so
my first reaction was...
If you view them differently, I think you should. That's a big thing. And especially something as severe as rape, with the mental scarring and damaging and all that baggage behind it. And now you found out the person. But this was someone
that you were okay with before, with the exact same knowledge that you have right now. And so now that you
were okay with them before, but someone has committed this grave atrocity where it causes you to not, or it doesn't even have to be a grave atrocity. It just has to be something that you do not look at them the same as. Like you did something, right? And it could be the trade,
it wasn't an atrocity 2 years ago.
It doesn't have to be atrocity. It doesn't have to be atrocity. It just has to be something very significant that makes you view them differently, right? If I thought you were this saint, and then I found out that in your spare time you were just going around.
That's different because this is something you know about from before. This is something you already knew about.
Like, I did.
When something like that happens to you, it changes your your understanding and your viewpoint of that. At first, you might have not read anything into it because it's like whatever, but now you're thinking about rape as in like this is what rape is.
And so now don't you think that this person can now share that same understanding because they did something that you yourself did in the past? They made that same mistake. And so now you evolve. So now this person now is no longer worthy of you or valid of your time.
So now my question is, does your partner have the right to be mad for you about what happened to you?
No.
Why?
If they have the mad to be mad at you about what happened to you?
No. Mad about the situation. Like, can a rapist technically be mad that their girl got raped? Because technically, your dude is a rapist.
If we're talking about in your specific situations,
I'm not debating you.
No,
I'm not debating that. But
we're talking about your specific situation.
What she just said, which I think says, shouldn't the rapist be mad at his girl that she got raped? Is that
no, be mad, not at your girl, but mad that she got raped. Like, have those feelings, be pissed at the dude, like, I want to fuck this guy that did this to my girl up. If you've done something like that, too.
I don't think it would be... It's not consistent, but I think he would be mad, though. Like,
he would be mad, but, like, do you have the right to be
Do you have the right, was my
question. It's like saying you cheated all the time, then you got cheated on.
And now you're mad.
You don't really have the right to be mad. I'm not saying you deserve it, but I'm not saying you have the right to be mad as well.
All right, you don't have the right to be mad. I'm not going to debate that. Yeah.
But I'm thinking about the situation where you said where you both admitted to having legally non-consensual sex, and then one person was really, really raped, like really, really raped, and now they view rape as a whole as is differently, and now they want to break up with the other person just because they view it differently now, just because now they have more of an understanding, and now off of that they want to break up with the other person. I don't feel like you should do that off rip. I feel like you should try to get that person to your level of understanding because they could take the same exact journey that you did just without your tragedy. So I don't feel like you should break up with them from that situation off rip. Now if they're like, "Nah, you're tripping. It's not that deep, bro. Stop it." Then I'm like, "All right, leave them." But if they're taking your journey too and they want to get to your level, you shouldn't.
I just don't see a situation where you would feel, as the victim, you would feel comfortable getting to that level with your partner, knowing that they've done.
Is the situation where you both have done it in the past and you were both okay with it in the past, but now you have a deeper understanding of it. So why not try to get them to your understanding of it?
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Especially when you've both done it.
That's fair. I'm not gonna debate that. I think that's fair.
That's where I'm coming from.
But rape is a whole.
How we even get into this? We're talking about expectations.
Expectations. I'm sorry. I mean, we gotta.
No, we should shy away. I want to shy away from rape examples. Rape is a very extreme situation.
That's yeah.
But I think the training.
But it's something that should be talked about because we like to avoid it because it's such a sensitive topic. But it's something that should be addressed because a lot of people have misconceptions and misunderstandings of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the reasons we got into it though is because talking about how the viewpoints and how you view someone differently because of implied expectations. Right. That's how we got into it. It's still related to expectations.
Right.
It's just a very specific example.
And now I have a question for you now.
Right.
So
I'm listening.
Earlier we were talking, and I said if this person can't do a certain thing because of their past, you're like, if that's not something I want to deal with, then I'm just gonna leave, right? So now, what if you're with a girl who was raped and now she has trouble getting intimate with you, and that's obviously something that you expect?
So you gonna leave?
If I can get past that barrier, I will. But if I can't, and if it's something that we can't do or you won't be comfortable with or we can't do this in this type of way, then that's one of my expectations that's not being met.
That's
and it's
fair.
not your fault. It's not your fault, but you can't be mad at me for, I understand why you'd be upset with me for leaving, but...
And you tried to work with her through it.
Yeah, it's a lot of baggage. And if I can't deal with all this baggage, if I can't deal with... And baggage, that's not... I'm not using baggage in a bad...
No.
Everyone has their past, right?
If I cannot deal with that and I leave, that is...
I think
what if it happened within your relationship, so not before?
Wow.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That is... and here's the thing, too. It goes back, can you still view that person the same way? To be honest. If I imagine if I love my girl, right, and that happens to her, I'll be, to support her and get her through that process, right? Mm-hmm. I want to think I would be that person.
And
but
now...
until something and that's easy to say hypothetically, I feel like I'd be lying if I just said, something bad happened to her, something really tragic happened to her. What if your partner got paralyzed right now? Right? You'd be like, I'll just be with him right now?
That's what everyone says.
That's what everyone says until it happens.
Not realistic. Right? It's not a realistic thing, though. When you actually go through that trauma with that person, you're like, damn, it's how the rest of my life is going to be with this person now?
So and then, go back to Khelil's question of, so now instead of it happening before, it happened during, and the person no longer is comfortable being intimate, and you're talking about, are they making consistent effort? So when are you going to realize, okay, shorty's not ready to... When is it too long? When is that effort not being met?
That is completely dependent on the person, though. But if it's like...
Because you're saying you had a short leash.
I have a short leash for certain things, but this is something that's so severe and something that's not out of, something that...
But it's still part of an expectation, though.
No, it is, but it's caused by external factors outside of the relationship as well.
Everything's caused by external factors out of the relationship. That's what we're talking about. No, because we're talking about expectations.
We're talking about expectations, but you're talking,
being met can be dependent on other things that's going on, though.
They can be, but something so severe like that happened, your girl gets in a car crash, right? Or your man gets in a car crash, a plane crash, and now he's paralyzed. That's something that's out of your control. And now it changes the whole dynamic of your relationship. That's what I'm saying.
But someone's childhood and their trauma can be out of their control too, and leave them unable to meet those expectations of you, though. So that's also another...
Having this before and during is different too, though. If these were root problems before I got into this, these root problems that you had coming into this.
Right, but they're problems that won't go away. Your trauma that happens in your childhood.
At the same time, you have the right to choose who you want to be with, regardless of their trauma.
And if you know it would never go away, then that means it must have come up several times before then.
Not necessarily, no. Different things trigger you to open up your wounds.
But I'm saying I feel like you would have saw those signs.
It's not always that easy, though.
I'm not arguing it's not that easy, but I feel like if this person, for example, she got raped, she had problems being intimate with you, you would have saw some signs during the process of becoming intimate with her, whether you were going out or whatever you did, right?
Right.
You would have saw some signs, and you might have dismissed it, not thinking it's that big. But then over time, you'll see, this is a much bigger issue. But this is something that was apparent before. You just kind of dismissed it because you were in love, or you really liked her, or you liked him, or whatever. That's what I'm saying.
But like I was saying, telling someone you got raped is not something you just say.
No, it's not.
So what if it's within your relationship, something or some external, for example, the Me Too campaign, or something triggers them to then feel like they can open up to you, and then you're finding it out not at the beginning of your relationship, but
But
years into your relationship and wait, and because that external experience opened up wounds, the person no longer wants to be intimate with you.
Oh, in the long. Okay, see, I thought you were going somewhere else with that, where, like, the Me Too campaign. I don't know. I feel some. I wouldn't say I would feel some. No, I definitely would feel some type of way. Where it's like
you wouldn't.
No, I would.
That what?
That like now there's intimacy problems that were triggered by this campaign, right? And I'm like, oh damn, that sucks. I'm gonna feel some type of way. Like that really sucks that happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, what do we do now? Where like is there anything I can really do that will help you get through this process? That will help you be intimate again?
I think in that situation it's gonna be temporary, because if she was past it before,
no, she's not. Okay, so this is the thing that
that's why
you don't get over your trauma.
No, I understand
and
that.
It's like,
but if
what
intimacy
if
wasn't a problem
she
before,
suppressed it because it was like, for example, the Me Too campaign is something that's like really making rape and rape culture more like of a talked about topic that was not always necessarily addressed. So maybe she has not been given that opportunity to bring it to that limelight or dwell on it or think about it. And now she's been given that platform. So it's going to change her thinking. It's going to change how she felt about it. It's going to make her realize maybe like, wait, this was not okay, even though I thought it was okay and I got over it. And now I'm realizing like, this person did this to me and has brought emotions and things that you necessarily might have not have felt then, but is feeling now. That's not temporary.
I get that. But at the same time, you've been with this person in my mind. You've been with this person, your partner, and you have had no issues being intimate with them I'm going to assume for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
This thing comes up, your trauma resurfaces, and now you're struggling, let's say again. Let's say you went through it before, you struggled, now you're struggling again. But now you have this partner, and you know that you can be intimate with him. You don't think that matters at all? You know that, you're safe with this man. You have been for the past 7 years.
But it's not about feeling safe. It's that power dynamic and just the way that individual made you feel, and now you can easily associate that with the person you love. And that's the hard part
so
about rape.
I become her rapist?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying.
The whole thing, it's hard to get behind the psychology of a person that has
been raped.
Yeah,
I'm trying to understand.
Or any type of trauma.
And I'm trying to understand
I really
right
don't
now.
want to focus on just rape because there's other types of trauma too.
Right.
But in that situation, I kind of agree with Khelil where I feel like that would be a temporary feeling that wouldn't last over a very extended period of time where it becomes a significant problem in my relationship. And if it does...
I disagree.
You can have these things that trigger you and like, okay, it resurfaces my trauma. Now I'm really analyzing this thing. Like I always brush it off, but now I'm like, all these people talk about it, and now I realize how it affected my life in ways that I might not have been aware of. It might have been one of those things
right.
Like, oh, bad things happen to me, and this is just how I am now, right? But now you're realizing these things, you're trying to get better and do this type of stuff.
And now you feel this.
And you have that person that you've been with the whole time, that you trust with your life, that's your partner. I feel like that would be a temporary feeling. I feel like it wouldn't. I feel like it wouldn't last long enough where the partner felt they would have to leave,
right? Because
my needs aren't being met. That's what I'm saying. And maybe there are situations where that does happen, but I feel like it would be rare, right? Like I feel like it would be really rare if my girl told me like she was raped when she was like this whatever.
Let's say your wife told you.
Yeah,
your
my wife told me,
years.
and my wife for 7 years, we never had any intimacy problems. But then now there's more lights, and now people are like re-examining what happened to them, and she has.
Okay, hold on. Now let me give you a really example of this. What about the victims of like famous people or prominent people who, when it happened to them, they weren't famous and they weren't prominent, so that person, it wasn't addressed or whatever. Now this person's on TV. Now they're getting this limelight, and this person is hold on.
Yeah.
This person then gets acquitted of it. So they get away with raping you. And everybody else, and everybody knows about it, but the person gets away with it. You're telling me that's going to be temporary? That person's just supposed to kind of get over it the way they did before? Knowing that when it happened to you, you didn't think about it that much, but now you're seeing it on TV, this person has done it to this many people. This person is a common figure, and now they're also getting away with it.
And now you're mad about it, but now does that mean that you can't be intimate with your husband?
That triggers things, though. That you start thinking about the things that
individual...
individual...
Now you can never be intimate with your husband again?
It's situational, and it's all you don't know
we don't know. The only reason I want to shy away from
I'm trying to understand.
I get that. The only thing I want to shy away from this rape thing is I feel like sexual conduct and all that could be its own episode on itself, which it should be because it's a very complex matter. Right.
We slipped into this and it was been interesting.
Yeah, no, it has been. We could probably split this up in 2 episodes if we need to, but that's the reason why I want to shy away from this rape and focus on other forms of trauma.
Or just expectations, which is where we started.
Expectations. We got into this rabbit hole.
Sorry, kids.
It's like, I would feel like, just go back to expectations, right? You have this expectation, this implied expectation that you have this trauma, right? Whether it's rape, whether it's a physical abuse, whether it's like you got a train ran on you, like whatever. You don't have that implied.
Yes, something that we haven't even touched on when it comes to expectations is just deal breakers, and that's something that you can have a short leash with.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and that's fair.
Like, you know, if your shorty cheat on you, you try to work it out. I'd be like, no, I'm out. Like, I don't care what the situation.
Some people will be like, no, we gotta work it out. It's
and
just
some
rough
people,
time.
But
if that's a deal breaker for you, that's fair.
That's to you. You're like, to each his own. But if like I'm not gonna trust you again, I don't care what you do. I will not trust you again. That's such a violation, regardless of how it happened.
And for
I would not trust you again. I'm not gonna be on your back about you cheating on me again.
And for some people, you know, a deal breaker could be like, you know, insecurity. I can't be with a girl who's not really confident in herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm with someone that looks pretty and you thought,
I can't be with the bum.
You could be in a situation,
and you can be great in every other aspect except
if you don't have dreams and aspirations and a job.
And you could have been in a situation where you thought you could have been with that.
Yeah, and
then now you start seeing these things.
Or you were with him and then he lost his job and never tried to get another one.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's like it's cut, and you should leave that relationship. That's like those are things that you should have like 100% regardless.
Deal breakers exist.
Yes,
and they should be.
Things will become deal breakers if the progress does. Like you can talk about all the effort, but it will become a deal breaker if there's not enough progress.
And also, it will still be a deal breaker no matter why this thing exists. So if you're insecure because of how you were raised, I'm sorry, but I don't deal with insecurity.
It could be an insecurity caused.
That was my deal breaker.
It could be an insecurity caused by your trauma, right?
Right.
But if I don't want to like deal with that, and I can't get past that fact, and there's not enough progress when I actually do try to deal with that, I'm gonna be like, I'm out. It's the same thing with the communication thing, which we were initially on. That example, if there's not enough progress for me, that's when I will start to feel like I wasted my time. Like those are the moments where I would feel like I wasted my time.
And depending on how important that expectation is to you and to the relationship, then you give that person more leeway. Because for me, communication is vital. If I'm with you and we're talking and it's a difficult conversation, but then you just walk away and you can't talk, that's a real problem.
Huh?
How many times have you done that?
What? Dumped him?
No, like we're having a difficult conversation. I can't do this anymore. You just walk away. It's like,
no, I don't do that. I hate that. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Never like, babe, what's wrong? Nothing.
No, I expect that.
Come on,
I don't think it's gonna change.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I don't mind if I have to pull it out of you.
Yeah.
But for you to completely,
You don't mind.
You don't
mind. I'm not.
If I can pull it out of you, then I will pull it out of you.
That's not my job. I ask you a question. We grown.
You
could be upset, which is fair. But if you see I'm making an effort to say what is wrong, and I'm like, hey, what is wrong? Then I'm not gonna be like, oh, babe, what's wrong? Can you talk to me?
I have a lot to talk to you about, man.
Yeah. Alex, good luck in your relationships, man.
Nah, man, that's an immaturity thing to me.
No, it's not.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I feel like that's
immaturity.
I feel like that specifically, we can get into this. One of the differences between men and women. We don't communicate the same.
No.
Which is fine. You could be like.
So what you gonna
pettiness?
If you want to be with a woman, you have to be able to compromise and understand that, though. You can't be getting mad every time a shorty doesn't tell you what's wrong at that moment.
I'm not gonna pry with you for freaking 30 minutes or an hour trying to see what's good with you. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that.
I got a lot.
No, that's
we got some stuff to discuss.
You're saying that now, but I bet you will in the day.
Especially when you're in love with this girl,
exactly.
Bro. This is your shorty.
That's cool.
She's really, really upset.
She is upset.
And she's having a hard time explaining this to you.
I am not going to pry.
Oh,
I am not going to.
But then, what is that? How is she
gonna
interpret that?
She's mad.
And so she's gonna sit down on the couch and watch the game. Or you mad? Be mad.
Yeah, that's you. That's what you're saying right now.
I don't care enough to try to
figure out what's wrong.
To really put in the effort.
I don't care enough because when I try to put in the effort
to really
not to really. Who's deciding that? You're deciding.
She's
that?
deciding that.
And I decided I did put in the effort. What what are you saying?
Like we said, if someone wants cookies, don't give them brownies.
Sure.
If
Literally.
this is what she needs, if this is what she needs and you can't give it to her, then you should be together. Fair enough.
That's fair enough.
But I feel like you're never
not
gonna
be
find
with
a woman.
any girl if you're not gonna ask this wrong twice. Alex, asexual. Stay there. Just be asexual this way. Just stop. This isn't
You're never gonna find a woman who's like, all right, so here's what's wrong.
Yeah.
From the jump.
Especially if you caused it. Especially if you caused it.
I told you I am not going to pry.
Alex.
I'm not going to pry.
Different episode.
No.
This is about.
I'm not gonna be like 3 hours. Let's try to get like, oh, what's wrong? You won't tell me that. I'm not doing that shit, bro.
There's a right and a wrong way to go about doing that. We can talk about this stuff.
I'm not doing it.
I understand. I understand your frustration, but it's frustrating. I will give you that. It's frustrating as hell. And one area
but
that women,
you guys do it too.
An area that women can improve.
No. You guys do it too.
What?
The whole what's wrong? You tell me nothing's wrong, and I'm the one that's prying. Guys do it too.
Yeah, fair.
I
A lot.
don't recall.
If you make me mad, you're like, oh, babe, what's wrong? Don't fucking talk to me right now.
No, you guys do too.
But that's not. Are you forcing her to keep asking you though? Are you a problem?
I'm gonna keep asking. This just like that's the kind of person I am though. I don't like saying. Like, I see that something is wrong with my significant other, I'm going to keep asking you what's wrong until you tell me so I could make things better. Like, I'm not going to be around you when I see you're sad. I'm not insensitive like that. That makes me uncomfortable. It's very insensitive. If you clearly see that something is hurting someone and you're not even making an effort to ask them what's wrong, it doesn't matter what their response is. But you're saying you're not going to pry. So if you ask her one, that's all that matters.
I didn't say only one time.
Alex, you say you're not gonna pry.
I'm not going to pry. Like, my definition of
3 times max.
Yeah, that's Alex. Right.
Maybe I want to see it one last time.
You can talk to me when you're ready to talk about what is wrong, and that is okay.
But the way you're gonna, the individual.
That's fair. That's fair. Situational as well.
That is situational, but I'm not gonna be like consistently harassed. Like, if I upset you in a way that upsets you so much you're not ready to talk about, then that's not my that's cool. I'm not gonna
there's middle ground
going
here.
On
there's middle ground here
when you're not ready to talk about.
There's middle ground here because
but then don't try to act like everything's okay with me when you still see
there's middle ground here.
I won't come back tomorrow and be like, oh.
No, but you guys be doing that. No, men do that.
No,
that's gaslighting. That's a different problem.
You guys do that though. You play it off like you saw that I was mad.
Number one move is to
get I tell you, leave me alone.
And give you sex. That's the number one go-to move.
Pussy is not apology.
That's the number one go-to move.
Stop that.
I disagree, but okay.
It's a go-to move.
No, you're right.
Amazing apology.
No, you're right.
But do you take it?
No,
but do you take it? But do you take it? Apology accepted then. If you take it,
that's not the point.
That's why I don't take it.
Oh, whatever.
No, that's not the point.
Just like you men think dick is an apology too.
I'll apologize. I'm a grown man. I'll apologize. If I did something wrong and I know
there is middle ground here.
There is middle ground, and I'm saying
we're prying and we're prying for 30 minutes and we haven't made any progress.
Stop.
Get out of here.
Right.
That's what I'm.
But then come back later though. But
right.
no, but you gotta come back. But what I'm saying is, if I see if that person is still hurting after the 30 minutes, so I left that person alone,
I'm not coming back.
No, I'm gonna ask you later on because I'm not gonna be around you for that long.
No.
What if you have to think about what if the issue is just that person might not know how to deliver what the issue is to you.
So it's even better that they come back on their own.
No, or sometimes they might want you to ask again. Maybe they want to see that you care.
But I've asked for 30 minutes.
No, but give me time and then come back and ask me again. No, you gotta ask me again. What's wrong? Ask me again. What's wrong?
No.
If you care, you gotta ask me again. So what? You're just gonna stay there and let me be in a bad mood for the rest of the day?
I did not let you do anything. I did not let you do anything.
No,
I did not let you do.
You're upset. You're upset. I get that. It's cool. We don't know upset. I could have upset you. Could be something else that happened that upset you, right? Why couldn't I don't have to be. I'm not even the bad guy in this situation. Right? I'm not even the bad guy. If I show, it's like the thing I was talking about. Effort with no progress, right? If there's effort with no progress, I don't care.
Very fair in this situation.
I'm not going to stay.
If there's no progress
here. If there is no progress, I'm not going to keep putting in effort.
But you guys have to understand that.
Your definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
If after the 25th minute you're still saying no, leave. Baby, no, leave.
Not saying no, leave, but the person doesn't answer you.
Even worse.
No, it's not. The person just needs a moment.
So take
your
time.
But then I still want you to come back later and ask me what's wrong.
You know I asked you a question.
No, but I someone.
Here's the thing.
But for the person, it seems like you've asked, and now because I at that moment was not ready to talk to you, don't care to ask again.
What if I say I've already asked you 5 times?
Sometimes people just want that attention, that sense of need, that sense of you showing that. Even though it's annoying, I'm still going to show you that I can. I'm going to ask you again. What's so wrong with that? Y'all be acting like asking again is such a big deal. Because you're so worried about your ego and you're like,
you could hold on.
What does it cost you to ask me what's wrong? Maybe I just want to feel special. Maybe I want to piss you off to a point where I know that you're still going to care enough to come back and ask again.
Petty, don't do that.
What if I were to do that?
Here's the thing. If you can understand that some people might just want to feel loved, you can understand that some people will not deal with that. That is just frustrating as hell and unnecessary.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen consistently. I'm just saying once in a while. I don't want to talk to you right now. Give me a second. No, once in a while, not consistently.
If I tell you, all right, you're clearly not ready to talk right now. Come talk to me when you're ready. I have every right to leave you alone until
No, that's different.
And then you said
that's different.
One thing you said was come back.
But you should still at that. No. But like, there's nothing wrong with you checking in on that person to see if they're okay.
Nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. No, it's not required. But there's nothing. But you're making it seem like it's like.
I won't come back. No, I'm done. I won't come back and ask what's wrong. I'm like, you ready to talk about it now?
That's the same thing as asking, though. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is.
Same thing?
It's just showing that effort. That's all I'm saying. It's just showing that, okay, I know that you're upset, and I know that I wanted you to take some time, or you want to take some time, but I just want you to know that I see that you're upset.
I don't view it as the same thing. So
I see that you're upset.
I'm not. Like, are you good now? Like, me asking you if you're ready to talk about it now. Is me different asking what's wrong. I feel like that's a different.
No. Because by you saying, are you ready to talk about it, that's you initiating that you see that there's a problem and you want to talk about it.
Yes, but the whole thing
that's
is like,
you're acknowledging that there's an issue. That's an acknowledgement.
Because I can see you're upset.
That's what I'm saying, though. There's nothing wrong with that. The whole thing is like, you saying, oh, what's wrong? And you're like, nothing. I'm not dealing with that. That's immature. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not immature. It's a defense mechanism. It's not immaturity.
Up to a certain point, it's immaturity.
It depends what it is.
Up to a certain point, it's immaturity.
It depends what it is.
If I'm asking you for 25 minutes, what's wrong? And you're saying nothing. I will be like, I am
up
gone.
to a certain point.
No, I hope you're not sitting there asking someone literally for 25 minutes.
It could be for 15
minutes. If it's just like what I'm saying, if you ask me what's wrong and I say nothing, leave me alone. There's something, cause you know there's something wrong. So one, don't ask dumb questions. You know something's wrong. I'll be like, but at that moment, I need a moment.
Maybe I just misread you. I misread the situation. I thought you were upset.
Give me a moment, and I'm gonna come to you, and you're gonna ask me what's. And I
can't even ask what's wrong. That's a dumb question.
Yo, if you see it in my face that something's wrong, don't ask me what's wrong.
But I want to know what's wrong.
No.
I want to know what's wrong.
Stop talking. Wait. If you see there's something wrong.
But like, I hate when don't ask dumb questions.
Did you hear that?
No, I think she meant don't ask me is something wrong.
No, that's what I meant. Is something wrong? Sorry, not what's wrong. Is something wrong? No. Like obviously something's wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't come and ask me is something like you know what I mean? Like, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Clearly, you see that something is wrong. Don't
at the same time.
I mean, don't ask me, are you okay? Don't ask me, are you okay?
At the same time, me asking, are you okay? I'm only asking that because I can see something wrong. That's implied.
Exactly.
So don't even think that's a dumb question. That's just me asking the same question in a different way.
No, you asking what's wrong is different from saying, are you okay? Especially when you're the one that pissed me off. And then you're asking me, are you okay?
Because I wouldn't be asking that if you look happy.
If you piss me off. No, if you piss me off and you're asking me, am I okay?
Did I know that I pissed you off?
Yes, in this case, let's say you did. Let's say you said some dumb shit or you did something.
And you said,
and you know that I'm mad.
Was some dumb shit.
So no. Say
you said it. No, you said, that's some dumb shit.
No, let's say for
because
example,
otherwise, how do we know?
It's like, for example, an expectation that you didn't meet. And then the individual knows they didn't meet that expectation. And then they come home.
And it's on our mind.
And it's just like, okay, so say, for example, like, communication, for example. You didn't tell me that you were going somewhere. And then you're gone for hours. I don't know where you are. And then you come home. Mm-hmm. Knowing that one of my expectations is for you to communicate that with me. And you know you didn't.
But I could have easily forgot.
And then you roll up at home and you see me mad.
I could have easily forgot. Babe, what's wrong? Like, you didn't say you were going. Oh, shit. Damn, babe, I forgot.
But here's the
thing. It was not on my mind.
Yes. What's so bad? Like, okay. It's not going to happen consistently.
If it happens consistently,
that happens
that's what I'm saying.
Like we got back to time and time again. If there is effort with no progress, I am gone. What is so hard to understand about this, bro?
But it's like you should not be asking me why I'm mad, especially when you knew you're the reason why I'm mad.
You're assuming I know the reason.
Khelil.
You're assuming I know the reason. It was never communicated.
Okay, or for example, I come home. I asked you to do the dishes. You didn't do the dishes. I come home. I walk into the kitchen. And I see a whole bunch of dishes in the kitchen.
What am I doing?
And I'm mad. You're sitting, chilling, watching TV. And I come, and I sit down. And I go upstairs, come downstairs, and I'm like, and you ask me what's wrong. Like, nigga, you don't know what's wrong.
If I know what's... No, see...
But you guys be doing that sometimes. So you know you messed up, but you still gonna ask what's wrong. I said sometimes. You do that sometimes where you know you messed up, but you still gonna ask her what's wrong. Alex, you're full of shit.
No, I'm not.
You're telling me there's times when you've intentionally upset a female and you know you did something wrong.
Intentionally upset her?
And you didn't go and ask her what's wrong, even though you knew you were the reason why she was mad?
First of all, we never intentionally upset someone.
Shut up.
We never intentionally upset y'all.
Oh, shut up.
It's never on purpose.
I might know my girl. Just cause.
You can fuck with her.
But that's intentional.
No, you can fuck with her, but that's not
intentional. But then she gets upset about it. You can't get
she's upset, I'll stop.
No. Fuck with her is not intentionally not meeting your expectations.
Oh my god.
Fucking with somebody is not intentionally not meeting your expectations.
So why did you do the dishes?
No, that's different. That's not
fucking
with you. That's not fucking with you though. But that's not fucking with you.
But you are upsetting me.
But that's
you intentionally chose not to wash the dishes.
No, we forgot.
Sat down, played FIFA. No, shut up. No, shut the hell up. No, don't tell me that. You know.
You called me. You called me asking to do the dishes when I was busy.
Why can't you do? No, wait.
When I was busy. I'm working from...
Yes.
Shut up, Khelil.
I'm in a meeting. Babe, can you do this? Once I'm done with this meeting. And as soon as I'm done with the meeting, I gotta handle...
You play Madden? Oh.
I gotta handle this thing at work.
I'm talking about I walk home and I see you watching TV or chilling.
I get done with work. I'm like, damn, I'm done. I get to relax. And I go sit down. And then you walk in immediately.
Or my favorite, when I ask you to take something out of the freezer for dinner and you know I'm coming home to make you food. And you don't take out what I asked you to take out to make you food. What's the excuse? That's not intentional? Why can't you do it right then and there when I'm on the phone? I know you're home. Just go downstairs.
So you're doing something.
You're not doing anything.
Hey.
You're playing FIFA. Hey. You're playing FIFA. You're playing Madden.
Tone it down, baby.
No. Don't sit here and talk about there hasn't been times that you guys have intentionally upset someone.
It's not intentional.
Oh, it's not intentional for you not to get up. You want to keep playing? You want to keep playing?
You know what's going on, man? We're thinking through some of Helen's traumas. And now, like,
it's not just Helen. It's not. I'm not the only one.
I say I'm fucking my girl. I'm just going to talk shit to my girl.
That's what I was thinking.
But you guys say that you don't intentionally upset your girl. But when you do things like, but when you do things like when they ask you to do something and you disregard and you don't do it deliberately.
We're not talking about that.
So you're telling me there hasn't been instances when you didn't, but then instead of you forgetting to do that thing, you're sitting there playing a video game. That's not you intentionally trying to upset the person.
No, but if I forgot it and I think I have nothing to do, so I play some video games. That's still me forgetting.
So what does that say about how you value the person's request?
I'd be forgetting my keys sometimes. I don't value my keys.
You dismiss what I asked you to do.
I did not dismiss it. I was
so
busy.
hard for you to take. So you not thinking about what you're gonna eat for dinner.
This is black and white tape.
Why are we getting screamed at right now, man? Let's bring it down. Like to NPR levels, right? Let's bring it back to NPR levels. This is
very black and white for you. If I'm busy I forgot, I'm still gonna do something else because I forgot this thing.
And it's not even the forgetting. I didn't dismiss it. I was doing something that at the time might have been more urgent than your request.
So playing FIFA. If I ask you, hold on, I call you.
Let's address her specific situation.
I call you and I'm like, hey babe, what are you doing? Nothing, just watching TV and chilling. Oh, can you take the meat out the freezer? I got you.
I just got off work, bro.
No.
I'm trying to chill, bro.
Taking meat out the freezer is a very easy task. What if you ask me to do a much harder task?
No. But this is my example.
Yes.
But then you didn't do it. So that wasn't intentional?
No, in that situation,
that's intentional. But then you guys are saying you don't do things you don't intentionally. I
can speak for myself. If I'm playing FIFA and you say,
saying men don't intentionally.
I can't speak for men.
Is it intentional?
It is intentional. That is intentional.
If I'm playing FIFA,
man,
and she calls me up, can you? And it's not online. I can pause it. If it's online and I can't pause, you gotta understand that too.
That's different. But you can pause. You're playing. You can pause it. Get up and get the meat and go back to your FIFA and you don't do it. And I come home and I still see you playing FIFA. What if
I'm in a boss fight right now?
Is it like? Shut the fuck up.
Is it like?
You don't understand, bro.
Is like the fridge downstairs?
You're in the living room.
Valid questions.
The kitchen is right behind you.
Okay.
And you don't do it. That's not intentional.
I think it's been a great episode of the Opinion Filter, man. Like, it's been a phenomenal episode.
I think we got a lot of good segments here.
Interesting segments, man. The only thing I'll keep saying, if there's effort with no progress, you're on your full right to leave. You should leave. Effort with no progress equals goodbye. My new Instagram bio. Anybody else have anything to say here? Anybody?
I feel like that's situational. That depends.
Effort with no progress.
Effort with no progress. If I'm trying to pull out what's wrong with you, then
you know what? Hey, I'll give you some too. This is when time really matters, right? This is when time really matters, right? Right? It's when time really matters. When time really matters, right?
What do you mean?
When there's like a period of time with effort but no progress, and like the more time goes on, that's when.
But you have to understand why there's no progress. And I'm gonna say my favorite is. You cannot find a solution to a problem without understanding what the problem is. Part of
the effort will go into finding out this. That's like
Amen.
That's something that goes. I feel like that's something that should go unsaid.
If I love my girl and she's amazing, but she has this one expectation that she's not meeting, but she's trying tremendously, but she just can't get it quickly, I'm not going to say goodbye.
No. Depends on how much of a deal breaker it is.
True.
That absolutely depends. Depends on I love my girl. She keeps cheating on me. Fuck. I'm gonna keep trying to make her stop cheating on me.
You're right.
I'm gonna be like Cardi B and pay Offset. Don't cheat on me, baby. You know, like. Hey, I really love him, but he keeps cheating on me. Like, come on.
I mean, she's still there.
We just laugh, but there's some people who do that.
Yes,
that's kind of messed up.
A lot of people do.
Sorry for laughing at
you.
But
there's difference. Everyone has a threshold for what they can accept.
I think that's a good way to end it.
What do you expect to go into your relationships? Is there times where there can be effort
with no progress?
And you will stay.
Do you think that we deserved to have been yelled at like that?
Facts.
Who yelled at you?
Out here screaming. I'm
Who yelled at you?
I'm a Christian house.
Let us know down below.
I'm a little confused.
Shouts out to our great guest Helen.
I'm confused, guest Helen. Ooh. A lot of people gonna be misdiagnosed, man. Oh man, she gonna be misdiagnosed.
Do
everybody.
not associate my professionalism with
this is
my
not,
personal.
This is disclaimer.
I'm an amazing
this
psychologist.
is not her professional opinion. This
Fuck
is just
you,
Helen.
Alex.
Let us know what you think. Share the video with your friends.
Yes, Opinion Friendly Podcast.
Apple, Spotify,
YouTube, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen to the podcast.
Appreciate it if you join the discussion.
Been a good episode, man.
Yeah.
See y'all next week.
We're gonna see y'all next week.